Hello everybody and good afternoon and welcome to our second studio show of the season here. It's the MXGP of Indonesia and yeah, it's a little bit warm, it's a little bit heavy. Conditions have been a little bit challenging here. We've had quite a bit of rain over the last couple of weeks, but we can maybe talk about that a little bit later on. But on our show today we have three fantastic guests. We've got Clement de Sal coming up from Monster Energy Kawasaki a little later on. Our second guest will be Rasmus Jorgensen. He's a rider coach for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna MX2 riders, and of course we've got a guy who finished on the podium last weekend, Julian Lieber from LRT KTM. But before we speak to Julian, Lisa, welcome to Indonesia.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be a little bit warmer.
It is so warm, but it's mixed conditions, isn't it? But I tell you what, the welcome here has been fantastic to MXGP. It really has.
Yeah, and we mentioned just
People
a moment ago, challenging conditions, obviously time zones, jet lag, humidity, all those kind of things.
Yep.
It's going to be an interesting race this weekend, isn't it?
I think it's going to be mixed up a bit. I mean, it's going to be unpredictable, but I think that's what makes it a little bit more exciting, really.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, look, we'll move on. We'll meet our first guest, Julian Lieber, LRT KTM. Now, he had a fantastic ride last week, of course. First race back from injury. Julian, welcome to Indonesia. The last time we saw you was the Motocross of Nations, I believe, at Erne, when you had a crash down the hill and you picked up an injury. What was the injury, first of all? Remind us, and why has it taken so long to get back?
Yeah, the injury was I had problems with my hips during the whole season. It started from the left side and then the right one. And we after the season I had 2 surgeries on the hips, and they fixed everything was a bit hurt, and it fixed that. But then I started to training again, and then we saw that the problem came back, and then we had to make more tests. And then they saw that I had a problem with the bones since I'm born, so that was a problem. And then they had to make 2 new surgeries and fix that.
So it was just a long process.
Yeah.
This is why we haven't seen you.
Yeah, because normally I just had to do the 2 surgeries because they made a mistake in the beginning, and yeah, it took me 1 complete year.
Yeah.
Did you race at all last year, or was it just the riding and training to make a comeback for this year?
Sorry, I didn't.
Did you race at all last year?
Did you race at all last year?
Did you race at all, or was it just the training and the preparation for 2017?
Yeah, just training preparation. Yeah.
When did you start riding again then?
In October. Yeah.
Of last year?
Yeah.
Wow, so it was 12 months off
yeah,
the bike.
Yeah, complete.
Wow.
And tell us about your relationship with your trainer. How's it working with Yves de Maria? And how long have you guys been working together?
Yeah, we started to work together in 2015 with Valentin. And then now after the season, he came back to me and asked me if I want to do part of the project, love my training. And then I directly say yes, and I was interested, and we started to work in December, but the beginning of December, and stayed a long time in the south of France with him.
You know, when you were going through this process with the injuries, with the surgeries, did you ever think, actually, I might not race again? You can walk, but you may never race again. Did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had to go walking in the morning 40 minutes for a little training, and that time I couldn't go walking without have any pain. So at that moment I knew it was gonna be complicated to be back in, especially to make some races.
Yeah.
Riding was okay, I think, but in the race is completely different.
Yeah. Well, you had a great pre-season. We saw your name in the Italian races popping up on the leaderboards, fastest laps. But last week in Qatar, I mean, what a way to mark your comeback. You know, on the podium, just like you were 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You must have been pretty pleased with how everything turned out last weekend.
Yes, for sure. I was really happy with the races, and yeah, we could see that the speed was there.
And this is the second race.
Yeah, and first race I made a mistake just behind Jonas, and yeah, I lost a bit of rhythm in the end of the race. But second race was really good, and I could follow them the whole race, so was really happy with that.
How was the circuit conditions last week? Because you didn't go last year.
Yeah.
They said they made a lot of preparation to the track, took some stones off. Obviously, you look good. It's obviously a track you like.
Yeah. Yeah, the track was for me it was fun to ride it, and I really enjoyed it to ride the whole weekend. It was too complicated to pass, but for the rest was really nice.
The first moto, you mentioned you had some battles, but you were very, very fast. When you caught Jonas, were you surprised how easily you caught him? If you hadn't crashed, you could have made gone for the win. But from the outside looking in, he's on a factory bike. You're on a tuned engine. Really, you shouldn't be in that position to catch him, but you did, and you were catching him easily. Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, I was surprised, but he had also some bad lines and few parts on the track, and that was the kind of easy for me to come back and to catch him, and then and then I was blocked behind him. I couldn't make anything, and then a mistake in the corner and lost a few seconds.
You said you really enjoyed Qatar, but just tell us, how good did it feel to stand on that podium after everything that you went through?
Yeah,
with the injury,
Yeah, but it's difficult to believe in the first moment, because you have to stay so much focused, and also for this weekend, and the season is so long. But for sure, it was amazing to be on the podium, and I hope I will have some more this year.
Well, it's a fantastic comeback, that's for sure. Well, we do have some questions for you, Julian, on social media. The first one is from Jocelyn Moresset. As a privateer, do you have any support from KTM? And if one of the Red Bull KTM bikes is vacant due to injury or anything, is there a possibility that you could fill in?
Yeah, for the support, yes, we have support from KTM, and I'm really pleased with that, and I want to thank them. And for the injury, if someone gets injury, I don't know. I hope nobody get injury, but we never speak about that, and we see.
But before the next question, when you say you get support from KTM, is that engine material, like some assistance at the moment already, or?
No, yeah, we have
suspension.
Some suspension is from White Power, and from KTM we can buy a few factory parts, but not a complete engine or factory. No.
Okay, well, second question on social media, George Thomas. After missing all of the 2016 season, what are your realistic targets for this year?
The goals?
Yeah.
I think if I can make top 3, it's really nice. For sure, I know I can do really well, but we have to see. We saw a lot of guys injured in the last few years, and everything has to go fine. We had a lot of races, like we see today. It's a muddy race, so everything has to be perfect to finish in top 3 or maybe better.
All right, well, look, we are out of time with you, Julian, unfortunately. But Julian Lieber, LRT KTM. Before we meet our next guest, Rasmus Jorgensen, let's take a quick look at the highlights from MX2, the MXGP of Qatar, just 1 week ago. MX2 Race 2, and this time it was Thomas Covington, the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider, that grabbed the foxhole shot ahead of Pauls Jonas as everybody else charged through the first few corners. Bernardini again inside the top 10, just behind the 61 of Prado and the 96 of Hunter Lawrence for Suzuki World MX2. Bernardini, though, banged bars with Michele Chervelin, was thrown out the front door. He picked himself up, but would only finish 23rd. Jonas, once again, led though, just like he did in race 1, with Thomas Kjær Olsen and Benoit Paturel giving chase. Paturel found his way into second by lap 2, with a pass on Thomas Kjær Olsen on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, and then the Khmer Yamaha rider went after the Red Bull KTM of Jonas, just like it was in race 1. And joining the party was Julian Lieber, number 33 on the very private KTM. Got himself into third with that pass on the European champion from last year in the 250 class, and then set about Benoit Paturel. Those two eventually started to catch the race leader, Pauls Jonas, as the two Husqvarnas of Covington and Kier Olsen battled over 4th place. Covington, though, would disappear later on in the race with a technical issue. Jonas was riding a steady race, mindful of what was going on behind him. Pacharel was forced into making 1 or 2 errors, just like he did in the first race. He lost valuable ground on the final lap, handing Jonas another race win. It was 2 out of 2 for Jonas. Pacharel came home 2nd, Lieber 3rd, and Thomas Kier Olsen 4th, just like it was in race 1, with Siwa and Lawrence 5th and 6th. Jonas, your overall winner, though, from Pacharel and Lieber here in Qatar. And for Paul Jonas, a first ever MX2 Grand Prix victory for Red Bull KTM, and of course he continues a tradition left by Jeffrey Hurlings, who was a 4-time winner here in Qatar. Next stop, Indonesia. Can he defend that red plate? Welcome back, everybody. Some of the highlights from last week's MXGP of Qatar, highlights from race 2. Our next guest has joined us here, Rasmus Jorgensen. He's a rider coach now for the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory team in MX2. Rasmus, welcome to the studio show. The first time, I believe, for you. But just for people who don't know you, don't remember you as a rider, because you have had a riding career, tell us about yourself, your riding career, and why you're now working as a rider coach.
Yeah, well, I started riding like many other guys in a very young age, and just kept going and climbed the ladder, I guess. And when I was at my highest, I was involved in a traffic accident and damaged my left arm really badly. So that was pretty much the end of it. Yeah, like you say, I'm still involved, and I'm super happy to be involved, and I enjoy it a lot.
Well, since you have stopped racing, you've been involved in coaching various different riders. Just give some of the names. Obviously, we know Thomas last year, but Mikael Harup as well, a young kid from Denmark. Anybody else spring to mind?
Well, actually, it started with Mikkel. I think I saw some great potential, and helped him with coaching and training, and also tried to use some of my contacts in the sport and to help him in his career. And then obviously with Thomas last year we had a great season, and no, it's been great, and I really enjoy it.
And how did you go from working with 1 or 2 riders to being the head coach for Husqvarna?
Well, it was for me last year the main thing was that Thomas and we did a lot of hard work, and it paid off, and to give him the best tools possible for the GPs, and giving him the opportunity to go in the factory teams, and it succeeded, and I'm really happy about that. And then when that deal was done, they kind of sounded interested in me joining the team as well, but not only for Thomas, for all 3 riders. So that's how it really started.
So how is it then, or how difficult is it, or how easy is it? I don't know. From going from working with Thomas and having that relationship with him to coming into a team and working with 2 other guys, Thomas Covington and Conrad Muse, because obviously you already have a close relationship with one rider. Now you have to kind of be unbiased, and you have to be equal to all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a complete different thing. Last year I was only watching at one rider, and now I need to take care and treat everyone the same and be there for everybody. And it's sometimes difficult because you have riders all over the track, and you need to keep an eye on all 3. But it's going well so far. Covington I'm not as much involved in as with Conrad and with Olsen, because he has his own physical trainer. So on Muse's and Olsen's side, I'm both physical and also riding coach.
Yeah.
You said it's going well so far. I mean, going back to Qatar last weekend, some great performances from your riders, but I guess some mixed emotions as well. First off, what do you make of Thomas Kier Olsen's performance?
I was super happy. I was super happy, and it's a big step coming from the Europeans. Even though you see now already that the speed and the level of the European riders are very high already. I was really relieved that the winter preparation went well, and it showed. Because one thing is to do it in trainings, but you also have to do and deliver in the GP. So I was really happy for him. And you know, Covington, he had some bad luck. He crashed a few times and was also right up there. No, it was a good weekend, and we got it all started, and can't wait for the rest of the season.
Well, we have a clip actually from the two guys in the second race, because they were running up front. Actually, you know, Thomas, two Thomases.
Yeah.
TKO. We'll refer to him as TKO.
Yeah.
19 here in the first race with Jonas, challenging for the lead at one point, and then obviously in the second one with his teammate Thomas Covington, 64. When you see that after spending all winter with these guys, and you see Thomas, the new last year's European champion from last year, running up front, challenging, and then you see, you know, two of your guys here challenging inside the top 5. As a rider coach, that kind of cements everything that you've been doing during the winter, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a good reward. But again, it's such a long season, and we need to stay focused, and the riders, they need to stay focused on the job, and you know, keep training hard, and hopefully we'll see much more of this, and might even see them a little bit more to the front.
And what about Conrad Mewes? What happened to him last week? Because in times, in practice, he seemed okay, he looked good on the bike, but it just didn't happen for him. What, was it starts? Was it crashes?
It's really difficult to say, because, you know, 2 weeks prior to the GP, we had a preseason race, and he was running up front and doing really, really well. And you know, it's really difficult just to actually just pick out a thing and say that was the problem. But it was a struggle for him the whole weekend. That's no secret. But we're here now and try and fix these problems.
What do you think to MX2 as a class this season? Obviously, Jeffrey Hurlings, Max Anstey, they've moved up, and on paper and based on what happened last week, maybe there are two favourites with Benoit Paturel and Pauls Jonas, but as TKO Thomas Kjærulsen showed us, he's also a threat. We expect Jeremy Seewer to come in. It's very, very open, isn't it?
It's very open. It's but I've been saying that the whole winter, because, you know, even when we're based in Lommel, you know, you see all the GP teams there and the factory guys and the young guys, they're so hungry. It's like when Jeffrey moved up, it was like everybody believed they can be world champion now. And like you say, we might have a few guys who are the main favorites, but still, you know, these other guys are not far off, and anything can happen. I believe there's many guys who can actually go and win a GP, but the main thing is to be consistent this year, because, you know, you don't want to throw away too many points. So on a bad day, you should still be within the top 10, and then I think you'll be good for the overall.
Well, obviously, you know, the guys have been out for practice this morning. It was pretty heavy. We were expecting a lot of rain today. So far, we haven't had it. It's going to be the first mud race of the year, that's for sure. A lot of the action now will happen on Sunday. How important is this race now? And how important will these new start gates be?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with the start gates, if they're going to be slippery or not. It's an important race. You know, you can lose a lot, but you can also win a lot in these races. So you need to try and get off the start, and then really try and be smart in the races, because it's gonna be a war out there tomorrow for sure.
Well, look, Rasmus Jorgensen, thanks for joining us here today. Rider coach for Rockstar Energy, Husqvarna Factory Racing, MX2. Wish all his boys the best of luck tomorrow. Of course, Thomas Kjærulsen, Thomas Kjærulsen, Thomas Covington, and Conrad Mewes. But before we meet our next guest, Clément de Sales, let's take a quick look at what happened in the MXGP of Qatar. Here's highlights from MXGP Race 2. MXGP Race 2. And this time it was Romain Febvre who took advantage of a mistake from Cairoli as he headed to the line to grab the foxhole shot. The Monster Energy Yamaha rider, though, his lead didn't last long, as around the outside went teammate Charcy's Tim Geiser. Cairoli was there in third, with Paulin in fourth for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, and de Sales right there again for Monster Energy Kawasaki. A tricky, gnarly circuit lay in wait for the riders in the second MXGP race. And despite feeling under the weather, Geiser was doing a great job of keeping Cairoli there, 2:22 at bay in second on that 450 KTM. Romain Febvre for Monster Energy Yamaha, 4:61, settled down in third place, just ahead of Clément de Sales and Gauthier Paulin, as Bobryshev and Koldenhoff battled over seventh. Fevre doing his best to make up for a disappointing first race. Was starting to feel the groove as his World Championship hopes started to get back into life. De Salle, though, had other ideas. He harried the Frenchman, tried to push him into a mistake. He thought he'd make the pass around the outside, but Fevre just closed the door and kept the Belgian at bay. Cairoli, despite losing about 3 or 4 seconds to Geiser at one point in the race, turned on the afterburners and went back after the Slovenian, the defending champion. Made a move around the outside. That came to no avail, but in the next turn, he managed to make the pass stick. There was a little bit of a love tap there as they went through the right turn. But with 2 laps to go, we had a new leader, and it was Tony Cairoli, and he went on to win race 2. Unbelievably, it was Cairoli's first ever Grand Prix win in Qatar. Geiser came home second, and De Salle was on the podium for Monster Energy Kawasaki. Bobryshev and Fevre rounding out the top 5. But for Tony Cairoli, he leads the championship for the first time in 2 years. Could this be his year? Of course, there is a long, long way to go. Next up is Indonesia, round 2.
It's all happening here. It's all happening.
It's all going crazy offset here. First of all, Clement had like 2 minutes to get here. Lisa said, quick, 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 10 seconds. And then he sprints. He was like, no, just joking.
It's chill. It's only, we've got 1 minute. It's all right.
And then his microphone was on the wrong way, headset the wrong way around. But Clement, welcome to Indonesia. You finally made it. How was the winter for you, first of all?
Yeah, good. I was happy about my winter. Everything go well. End of the winter, you know, I was thinking like have to keep it on 2 wheels till the end, because last year I had it was not going like that, and it was a little bit in my head, but I could have a good training, good time in France and Spain, and I'm really happy about it. And I was feeling great in my body and on the bike before the first race, and it confirmed it in the first race, so I was happy.
Yeah, well, 12 months ago, obviously you had a good pre-season, good winter with a new team, and everything looked good for the first GP in Qatar. Then you picked up an injury. So after what happened last week, you must be feeling pretty good now, third in the championship.
Yeah, exactly. Last year, you know, I don't really want to talk back about that, because you know it's all things and then negative things. So, but no, yes, I was happy how things was going last weekend. I see that the start are really important, even more and more important than before, because it's coming really difficult to pass. And but yeah, I finished like the 3rd overall podium, so it was going good, and you know, level is really high with the top 10 really strong. So, and also my personal feeling was great. You know, I was happy about myself, and I know that the season is long, so it's good to start like to feel good on my bike, good on my body. That's really important, and then try to be consistent during many races during all the season, and that will be really, really important and one of the big key of it.
Yeah. Well, like you said, 3rd overall, 2nd and 4th place finishes in the 2 races. And after 1 round, you're only 10 points off the lead, but we know it's a long championship. Were you happy with your riding? Saturday, the qualifying race probably wasn't great, but Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, you turned it around for the race. Were you happy overall with the way you rode?
Yeah, like you said, you know, the Friday I was really not happy actually. You know, the start was not there, and then you battle with other guys, and then you don't find your own rhythm, and then get many dirt on the face and everything. Things was not going like I want, and yeah, I could turn it completely different on Saturday, and then the feeling was there, and then you know, things is going better, and that was really good for the feeling and good for me, because the Friday I was not happy, you know. Also Saturday actually, you know, it was difficult for me in first moto to get in 2nd place. I was feeling a bit faster and difficult to pass, you know, and also in 2nd one actually, and I could not make it in 2nd one, but like I said, the feeling was there. I was feeling good on the bike. It's a strong result. I take some good points, so that's already some things positive, you know, that's important.
You said the start wasn't there on Saturday, but on Sunday, thankfully, Saturday,
Friday, so, yeah.
the main race, thankfully you made 2 good starts. Is that something that you have been working on over the winter?
Because we have the new system as well, so...
Yeah, of course I was practicing on it and try to improve myself a lot on that. It was not really good enough for me, my start. Actually, I had a good B plan, you know, for the start, but it was not good enough, you know. So I'm really still really busy on it, on the training and everything. But you know, I'm thinking that you can also with riding, you can train all what you want, but the race is a race, and you can never make it like a real race. You know, you don't have other rider next to you, and of course you have to. You need to have a good technique, but still have to be better.
Looking at the battle here with Roman in the second race. Okay, obviously you want to try to pass him, but sometimes when you spend so long behind somebody, you almost fall into everything that they do, don't you? You know, in the beginning of the race, if you make a bad start, you just ride on instinct and you make a pass. You don't even think about it. Before you know it, you can go from 15 to 5. But when you have a good start like that and you just settle down, then sometimes it's difficult to get out of that mindset, you know. Is that how it was?
Yeah, exactly. But you know, also one thing important is that to attack somebody, you have to be really close, and then at the end maybe change your line and try to be faster than him. But that was complicated because if you are really close, you get a lot in the Google, and you know you have to find a good combination. Try to think where you can make a pass. You know, all those things is important. It's not only like you being behind somebody and then pass him. You know, you have to. Especially there was only one strong line fast. You know, so to make a move was really difficult. And but like you said, sometimes you get the rhythm, and then you know I was feeling I can be a little bit better, but I was stuck, and I mean just a little bit. You know, I don't want to say that, but it was our own feeling, and like in first moto it was like that, and then I could feel that when I passed, then I could be a small level. Little bit higher, you know. So
and also you don't want to take a risk and first
exactly.
GP, so
but
it's difficult to balance. Well, look, more from Clement in a moment, but before we speak to him and round out the show, let's just take a quick look at how we can watch the races this weekend. Well, as you can see, you can watch the racing on MXGP TV, and don't forget we're still offering a 25% discount on our MXGP TV package, so if you're already a subscriber, then thank you. But if you know anyone who loves it, then why not let them know? All races are live and on demand from everything MXGP, MX2 and WMX, and all the European races as well when we head back overseas. The offer also includes the Monster Energy Motocross of Nations, and you also have access to our Behind the Gate 26 magazine, which is a roundup of each Grand Prix, so don't delay. Subscribe today. You won't want to miss any of this year's action from MXGP.
Okay, Clement's still with us. Clement, just going back to Qatar, would you say it's a track that you like? Because you have been on the podium 3 times in 5 GPs, including your win in 2013.
Yeah, it's difficult to answer exactly. I mean, it's a place that I feel okay, but it's typical with the, let's say, it's the night, and it's. You know, the start is really important, and it's true. I would say that like the 5 years we were on that track, it was not so easy to pass. So you know, but in the same time, I say that I had some really good time there. So yeah, of course, you know, when you have some good result to one place, and you feel a little bit better there. You know, so yeah.
We are almost out of time here, but how do you see the next few races developing? Obviously, we've got 4 flyaways. This one, we have Argentina and Leon coming up, because obviously there's a lot of guys can win a GP, can win a race. It's not an easy class, is it, MXGP?
Of course, you know, I go to every race with the same thing in my head, you know. I want to, when I go behind the gate, I go to win it, you know, but in the same time, I also think that I want to be strong the whole race. Sometimes it's more intelligent for me to take some strong point than to do stupid thing. But I will try to be consistent, and like I said, I really would like to have some, and I will work on it even more, to have some good start on the races coming, because honestly, how I see it and how I was feeling in Qatar, it will make a lot of % of the race, you know. So that will be the most important for me.
All right, just one time for one social
just
media
a quick question, MX Justin. Do you feel like the dark horse amongst the contenders? So, you know, perhaps people aren't expecting you to be up there, but you kind of always are.
Like after the last couple of years, you've had some injuries, and maybe some people have said, you know, come on this year, nah. But do you feel like you could be the surprise package, and you could be the one that is seriously challenging for the championship?
You know, of course, yes, because I believe in me. I know what I'm doing, and I know every year, you know, I sit on the table, check my positive point and negative point, and I try to progress every year. And it's true, like you said, I had some injury like last year and then the previous year, and some people think about like other guys in the front and everything, but it's automatically like this, you know.
Yeah.
I again see something last week, quickly say about it in the newspaper in Belgium, close of my place, and I see some stuff not so nice about like all champion Belgium who speak about me not so nice, and they don't even know me, you know. So it's bad to see that, but anyway, I don't care, you know. I do my work, I do the best I can, I know what I'm doing for it, and I like to do it my way also, you know. I like to take advice from people, but I like to also to do it my way, and I want to be champion like that, you know. But I believe in me, and I know what I can do on a bike, so I need good start also, but it's like a big package that have to be positive to win the race and championship.
All right, Clement Desalle, Monster Energy Kawasaki, thanks for joining us here today in Indonesia. Well, as of this afternoon, the only action we can look forward to on MXGP TV will be the women's race a little later on, around about 4:10, something like that today. But you can catch all the main races tomorrow on MXGP TV and elsewhere as well, so make sure you join in and watch as everything unfolds here in Indonesia round 2. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we go back to Argentina and Patagonia. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.